Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Witty's Gear Reviews. Today we have something that was sent to me by HX Outdoors. They reached out to me and they asked me if I would review one of their knives. So this was sent into the channel. I did not buy it with my own money, but the only thing I wanted to do was be able to do a actual honest review on this product. So we're going to jump right into it here real quick. As you can tell, this is how it came. And I'm kind of impressed. I mean, compared to a lot of knives I get in just a black box or colored box, this actually comes in this nice hard case. We'll go ahead and open this up, and then, you know, it's a good picture of the knife there on the front. We'll open it up, and then we'll kind of look at what comes in it, and then we'll talk about the specifics. And that thing's pretty tight. All right. There we go. So we get a cleaning cloth. It's the HX Outdoors logo. Just a little cool little knife card with a QR code to their website and their media pages. Across there. And then the knife itself. Now that we have the knife out, we're going to go ahead and move the box aside so we can talk about the specifics on this knife. I can tell you right now that that's a pretty cool looking knife. And just from the feel and the finish of just looking at it straight out of the box, it looks like it's made with quality materials. Yeah, it looks like a solid multi-use knife. Go ahead and take the knife out itself, and then we can kind of go into some specifics. Let's check before we do that, let's check what the lockup is like inside the Kydex. Okay, so it's got a good lock into the sheath. There's no rattle, and you could hear when I actually take this out, you can hear it snap, and then when we put it back in. So a good positive lock. And then you do have your little snap there to keep it inside the sheath. But we'll set the sheath aside and we're going to take a close look at the knife. So a really, really good knife, guys. I mean, the craftsmanship on this knife, I mean, there's just, I don't see any minor imperfections in the coating on the blade, in any of the grinds. They did a really good job with the actual blade profile. It's just a nice drop point design. Full-tang with a hammer pommel on the end with a lanyard hole. And then you have these cutouts, which is good for reducing weight. Good size handle. I mean, that's about the size handle I think is just right. I mean, it's got a really good feeling in the hand. Even for bigger hands. I mean, it fits in the hand good. Not super heavy. Really good knife. I love the design. And we can kind of get into some specifics on if we were to look at some measurements here. If we look at it from tip to tail, you're looking at 9 inches. And then if we just looked at the blade length, you're looking at we're about 4 3/8, 4 1/4, depending where you measure front to back. But usually if you're going to look at blade length, I mean, you're going to look at what's usable. What's usable there is about, we'll say 3 3/4 inches. If you're going from just the sharpest part of the blade, not from the finger choil there. I do like the hardware that they use on these handles. Looks pretty robust. They're nice and countersunk inside the handle, so you do not feel them when you have this knife in your hand. Some are kind of round, some stick up a little bit, but these are countersunk in there, so you just really don't feel anything but the handle material. So now we got some length. It's got a pretty good thickness overall. I mean, you can see the thickness on the actual full tang of the handle compared to the taper that it gives you on the blade. Then it gets a little thicker back up there by the tip. And then you could see, you know, the craftsmanship. I mean, it's perfectly even on both sides of the tip. See the jimping on there, the fit of the handle between the scales and the actual handle compared to the pommel. Just a really solid knife, more like a waffle on like a hammer on the back, which is just going to give you a little bit of traction if you hit something, so you're not slipping off all the time. I think that's a good, you know, a good addition to the knife. So this knife, like I said, is made by HX Outdoors. This model is the Rock Apex fixed blade, and the name of this knife is a Rock Apex fixed blade, and this model is the TD18B. So TD18B. The blade steel on this one, oh, there it is, TD18B. The blade steel on this knife is, it's hard to see it, but it's DC53. And it's got a titanium nitride coating, which I really like the coating, that gray coating on this knife. It just has such a nice look to it. Just overall, the black with this gray nitrate finish. I just really like the look of the knife overall as a whole. One thing about the DC53. So DC53, I mean, that steel just strikes a balance between exceptional toughness and also wear resistance. Which, I mean, when you think about it, it's an upgrade over D2. And saying that, you know, DC53 is just used for that, you know, it's made for heavy duty knives. It's made for something that's going to take a beating, something that you can use prolonged. And the good thing about the steel being the DC53 is, with prolonged use, you're not going to have to sharpen this knife as often as you would some other steels out there. I mean, this knife, you can just tell, it's designed for some heavy-duty tasks. And it's got the right blade profile for whether you're skinning an animal, you're feather sticking, batoning through wood. I just think that it's one of those knives that you could kind of, not really one and done, but there's no doubt in my mind it'll cut through rope, it'll cut through zip ties, paracord, and still be good enough to slice your meal at the end of the night, right? Not really a knife that you just want to have for opening boxes, but I promise you it'll do that. I really like the texture of these G10 handles. It's got a good look to the handles. You can look at that. Compared to a lot of other G10 knife handles, this one does have that micarta look to it, even though they are G10. Just a solid, good feeling handle. The handles that have this texture on them are going to be really good for, you know, wet hands, for the slip resistance. Really like this knife. Now, going back to the sheath. The sheath is going to be a Kydex sheath with a leather belt strap. And you can see that's not, you know, that real thin leather. That's really good leather. Stitched there. Screwed onto the sheath. And then you have your fire starter, which is just a decent, you know, fire starter that comes with the knife. And I can feel there that they even show a little fire. that you have a 90-degree spine on the back of this thing, and we're going to, oh, actually, if you can see, they've already sanded it there or grinded it, so you actually, that's where you know you're going to have your fire striking capability. So I'm going to take a little bit of the finish off on this thing, and we're going to see what we can do as far as striking. Oh yeah. So that's a really good fire starter for one. I mean, it threw sparks out there, burnt a little hole on my table. So good fire striker or ferrocerium rod. No damage to the coating. Really solid knife, guys. I like it. I think it's a good all-around knife. It's a good bushcraft knife for a smaller knife, right? It's not a huge knife. We've actually shown some bigger knives. I mean, if you look at, you know, this is something that you wouldn't mind carrying compared to like something like this, right? That's a knife. But this is a good all-around knife. Something that you could carry on you every day, and it's just not going to be, it's not going to be super large and awkward, but it's plenty capable. I do like the jimping on top. I do like how you have that extra part of the finger choil, so you can kind of choke up, get on some fat wood, do some feather sticking, do some, you know, shaving, and it actually feels pretty good in the hand if you were doing some carving a spoon, some tent stakes. It's not super heavy. Most knives this size aren't really designed as choppers. Do I feel that it's got enough weight to do some chopping? Yes, but it's not going to be one of those knives that you're going to go through the bush and chop down 2-inch trees to make a shelter with the knife. Would it work? Yes. If you know how to cut in the bigger material with a smaller knife, you can do that. It's tough enough to do it. It's just probably going to wear you out. But it's a solid knife for everything else. Smaller stuff. I mean, let's look. We're not building a cabin out there. We're trying to make a shelter for overnight. You're going to want to use things about 1 to 1.5 inches in diameter. This can handle that. Anyways, guys, just wanted to give you a look at this knife. If you have any questions, let me know. I'll leave a link in the description where you can find it. 2 links. You can go to HX Outdoors, find it on their website there. It's also available on Amazon. We'll leave a link to both, depending on which way. Some people don't like Amazon, so you can go direct to the manufacturer. But with Amazon, just like everything else, man, throw it in your cart and let it work for you. See if you can catch a sale on it. I think right now, at the time of this video, I think there's a 30% off coupon on this knife. So go check into that. And let me know what you think, guys. HX Outdoors, Rock Apex, fixed blade knife. That'll do it for today, guys. There's still 3 ways to support the channel. Witty's Gear, memberships, buy me a coffee. Do me a favor, like, share, subscribe, click all those notifications. Still trying to grow the channel. Let people know about us. Share us with your friends, family, anybody that if they're looking for a knife, looking for any kind of gear, curious about EDC, just getting into it, maybe some camping stuff, whatever, send them my way. I don't mind answering questions if I know the answers. And if I don't know the answers, there's a lot of my good other channel guys that I keep in touch with. If I don't know it, I'll go to their channels and I'll ask them or set somebody up to contact them if I think it's something that's up their alley. And there's a lot of small channels like myself that are out there. And I think, you know, a smaller channels banding together and helping each other out and watching each other's content and critiquing is great for YouTube and great for small channel creators like myself and many other creators my size out there, and even smaller channels. Man, jump on. Tell me what you do. I won't mind going over there and supporting your channel, watching it. And if you make good content, I'll send people your way. That's how we're going to make it as smaller YouTube creators in this world where, you know, 100 100,000 subscribers or more usually take the spotlight. Hey, we still put out good content. We do our research, and sometimes I think we have a harder road to travel. Anyways, guys, that'll do it for today. Love y'all. See you on the next one.